What's going on, guys? It's your boy GS bringing you guys another online ranked match. And today we are bringing you guys some Philadelphia Eagles gameplay. My opponent decides to select the most overused team this year in Madden, which I think is by far. This is a team I face more than any other team this year, which is the San Francisco 49ers. As you see, this is before the update. The Eagles now are 75 overall. Right now, at this point, they are an 81. I'm not sure what they were when the year started. I think they were like 85, but now they're they're down to a 75. But that still doesn't stop them from being a great Madden team. They have weapons across the board. Vic isn't the greatest thrower in the game, but he has that interchangeable. He has that speed. You have to game plan for him, because if not, he can take off on you and gain yards in bunches. McCoy is a phenomenal receiving running back out of the backfield. Great speed, good agility. One of the best running backs in the game. And they have speed with Macklin and Deshaun Jackson. Brent Selleck is a decent tight end. So they definitely have some weapons. And on defense, they have two of the top cornerbacks in the league. They also have Rhines, who's a very, very solid linebacker. And they also have two of the best edge rushers in the game. So they definitely have a lot of weapons, And I really don't need to get into how powerful the San Francisco 49ers are. So offensively, my game plan going against the 49ers is try to run, but it usually doesn't work out too good because their run defense is absolutely, it's amazing on how well they can stop the run. They're all fast, they're all smart, and they have high awareness. They're quick, and Patrick Willis can chase down any running back. I don't care what your speed is, he is going to find that perfect angle and just stop you. Right here, we got him to a 3rd and 7. Right here would be a good time to get him into 4th down, but he ends up converting, getting himself the 1st down. He's moving the chain right there. Nice adjustment by him, but that's why the run commit. Now I've just learned run commit down. If you run commit to a side, they usually have a split second to adjust to the other side, because before the handoff is even complete, he'll see everybody running to one side. So he had enough time to adjust and run to the opposite end, which I don't think should be happening. If you run commit towards the right side, it should pretty much just, stop that run completely. But our first go around on 2nd and long, we end up taking off with Mike Vick, and that's something special that he can bring to the game, which not too many quarterbacks can. But as again, he's not the best thrower, as you just seen right there. Wide open, overthrows him. Go streak, open, doesn't fit it in. And it's tough to play with Vick, because he is one of the quarterbacks in this game that will have you thinking, yo, this dude is a beast. And the next throw, he's like, yo, he's a bum. He makes really good throws sometimes, but then he makes really bad throws. He's very inconsistent. He is by far the worst, highest rated quarterback throwing wise in the game. Last year, I don't know what his overall was, but when he came out guns blazing, I think he got all the way up to like a 90 or whatever it was. But his accuracy was just never too good. He throws a lot of bad passes. On 2nd and long, after a sack right there, we're standing in the pocket, but we don't get anything. So 3rd down, we try to go to McCoy on a screenplay, and he ends up fumbling, and he ends up recovering the fumble. Of course, that's how it works out. I would have gladly taken my field goal there, but he ends up just, forcing a fumble, and he recovers. That is something that is so good about the 49ers defense. They hit hard. They force a lot of, computer hit sticks, a lot of big hits, and that sucks. Interceptions, I understand why they happen. Maybe I made a bad read. I hit the wrong button. Like, if I throw an interception, I'm like, it was my fault, But a fumble, you can't control a fumble. Even if you cover up, even if you hold RB or L2 or R2, whatever it is to cover up, you'll still fumble. It's not like that's, going to stop you from fumbling. So, fumblings are very, very fumbling. Fumbling is very frustrating. So you see, he's moving the ball again. Right here, we get a lucky user tackle, and that's no A-button assist right there. I just got lucky. I don't know how that happened. But on 3rd and long, he tries to go towards the right, and we end up swatting that down. So he ends up punting us the ball. So it's like that fumble never happened. We got another go-around, another opportunity to put points up on the board, and, hopefully that's what we can do. We have a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of speed, but so do the 49ers on defense. So it's not like it's such a big mismatch, speed-wise. Right here, we end up trying to scramble. And another fumble. So far, a fumble with McCoy, a fumble with Vick. It's like, what's going on here? Right here, we try to go to Jackson. We missed it. So 3rd and long, we end up finding the one-on-one matchup, and we end up hitting Deshaun Jackson on the go streak, and we end up scoring a touchdown. So it's 7-7 right now. We end up scoring, and, we take a deep breath, and we're like, okay, we're back in this ball game. Thankfully, not only did we get the first down, we end up scoring a touchdown, so, that right there was good because us punting him back the ball down 7-0 might have been tough if he was able to put points up on the board. So right, he's standing in the pocket. We got a nice block shed over towards the left to try and create some pressure, but he ends up finding somebody open over the middle. Nothing worse than him just having a second too long in the pocket to find somebody open. And just in a couple of plays, just real quick, bang, bang, he ends up scoring a touchdown just like that. So he ends up scoring a touchdown, and now it's 14-7. And right here, Deshaun Jackson, we end up trying to get ourselves a good game, get ourselves in good position, and, doesn't happen for us like that. So we got the ball again. Again, we're trying to run the ball. We're trying to establish a run, but it's really, really tough because the 49ers run defense is really, really good. So I'm expecting to having to pass more than to run. I'm not looking to have too much success on the ground as Michael Vick has somebody open but overthrows him. 3rd and 4, we need this to avoid a punt. We're looking, and we end up just trying to scramble, and we get another fumble. And he recovers again. And now, facepalm, I'm like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. Another fumble? And he recovers. So instead of us punting the ball, which we would have, he ends up getting in great field position. Nice block shot right there by Cole, I believe, right there. End up getting the sack. So 3rd and long, he ends up just running it just to get himself in field goal range to assure himself an easy field goal. And he ends up kicking a field goal to go up 17-7. So we're down right now. It's not looking too good. We're struggling on offense. Outside of that big go streak play right there, we really haven't been able to move the ball whatsoever. His defense is playing really, really good. Right here, we have one timeout with a couple seconds left, less than a minute to make something happen. So we try to catch him off guard with the run. Right here, 2nd and 1, we're looking. And we go to Macklin over on the right. Gets us close to midfield. So we got about 40 seconds to get ourselves in field goal range. So right here, we're looking. We're standing in the pocket with Vic, and we end up just taking off. And another fumble. You've got to be kidding me. Seriously, another fumble? How many fumbles am I going to get? 2nd and 7. We end up going over the middle of the McCoy, and we end up hitting him, costing us our last time out. So right here, we go to the screenplay with McCoy, and we just get shy of the end zone right here. We get stopped at the 1-yard line. 8 seconds left. We're like, we're going to take a chance. We're going to go for it, and we end up doing our check down to McCoy. And thankfully, we end up scoring. That right there was a real ballsy move. If we don't get that, most likely, unless it was an incompletion, the clock would have been going, and we would have missed out on points. But thankfully, we end up getting it. Not the smartest call in the world, but it ends up working out for us. Right here, he just basically tries a Hail Mary right there, see if anything happens, but we end up getting a user interception right there. So we go to halftime down 3. I'll take that, considering the several fumbles that he was able to get, and we get ball back. So out of all those turnover possibilities that he could have had, we have a chance to take the lead right here. And that right there will be such a huge momentum change, considering he's pretty much dominating the game at this point. Even though I'm down 3, he's dominating both sides of the ball. He's stopping me on offense. His defense is playing really good. But right there, look over the middle on 3rd and long. We end up, well, not too long, but 3rd and 7. We find McCoy on a streak, and we end up precisioning towards the left, and we end up getting a touchdown right there. So we take the lead. And right now, we're like, okay, maybe we can do this. Maybe we can pull off this victory, considering we've had so many fumbles happen to us this game. So again, we're back on defense, and now I feel like he's getting a little nervous. This is how I know he's getting a little nervous. He ends up throwing into double coverage, and we end up getting an interception. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys been watching me for a while, you know what comes up next. No soup for you. We end up getting an interception. I feel like, he's nervous. He's a little scared. He's throwing into double coverage. He's getting a little flustered. So right here, we go to Deshaun Jackson on the go streak, and we end up scoring another touchdown. So now it goes from us being dominated to us dominating him. So now we are up 11 points. And another stop and another score, and I feel like this game is pretty much over. So that's how things can change so quickly in a game of Madden. That's why getting the ball back at halftime is so key. Right here, he tries to go over, and another interception. Asamoah ends up coming up with the user, well, not the user, but the computer pick, and we end up getting good field position. We're at about midfield here, and right here's a good. Oh, we got him open on the street. Come on, Vic. How you can overthrow him? He was open. He had to step on him. Come on, son. So 2nd and 10, we end up going to Macklin right here, and we end up getting a first down. So worst case scenario, bearing a turnover, we should be able to kick a field goal right here. And yeah, there goes that turnover right there. And just a bad read by me. Try to go over the middle, it gets picked off. My fault. Man, I believe McCoy was open right there on that passing play, but now he has new life. I let him back in the ball game. It was my fault. We let him off the hook. They are who we thought they were. They came in and we let them off the hook. If you want to crown them, go ahead and crown them. We had our opportunity right there, and we blew it. That right there was a great chance to go ahead up 3 scores, but unfortunately it doesn't happen. 4th down, as you just saw, he got a first down, so he's continuing his drive. And this right here on a streak, he got him over. He's got a step on us, and he ends up being overthrown. So okay, Madden is BSing both of us on the streets. But whenever he gets the 3rd or 4th down, I can't seem to stop him. He's getting first down after first down late in downs, and that's frustrating. Stopping him for a couple of downs, and then he's end up coming through on 3rd and 4th down. That's really, really frustrating. Big catch by, I believe that was Davis, got him in the red zone. 2nd and goal, he ends up throwing over towards the middle, and he ends up getting a touchdown right there. So now it's a 4-point game, and it went from, that's how things go. And look at this buffoon muffing the ball on the 1-yard line. And then there's like 8 Eagles who couldn't pick it up. They're all fumbling the ball. And now I got the ball at the 2-yard line trying to make something happen. We go to Brent Selleck right there. Gets us some breathing room. We need a first down right here to continue our drive to avoid a punt. We're looking. Oh, he got his Selleck, but he ends up dropping the ball due to contact. So we're forced to punt the ball and put our defense back on the field. And hopefully we get ourselves another stop. So right here, I'm getting a little nervous at this point. There's nothing worse as we get a huge sack right there than me having my defense on the field and me not feeling too confident being able to stop him. And things like that happen. He runs directly right up the middle, and then he dives on your boy. But what can I say? He earned that dive. He deserved that dive. I threw that interception, which I felt like changed the game completely. Bad defensive play call by me. He ends up running it booty hole, butt naked up the middle. Deshaun Jackson gets us a decent return right there. So now we're down again, and the pressure's back on our offense to go ahead and put points on the board. Again, we try the run, but I'm not having too much success on it. Right here, we try to sneak him with the draw play up the middle. We end up getting decent yardage. 3rd and 4 right here. We're looking with Vic. We're looking. We're having trouble finding somebody. So we roll outside the pocket, and thankfully we just get enough for the first down to continue the drive. Right there, the go streak back to Jackson. He's having trouble defending it. So we end up killing him with it again. I don't know if I'm right, but I think that's the 3rd time we done hit that for big yardage and a touchdown. So we're up 36-1. I don't know why, but I went for 2 instead of 35-1. I went for 2, and I believe at the time I was thinking, because when he scores, I was down. He was up 4. So instead of it being 4, it makes it a 5-point ball game. And if it becomes a field goal, instead of me being down 3, it becomes a 2-point game. So it was risky, but I ended up going for it. And right there, he scores a touchdown. So if you look at the score now, because I had went for 2, now it's a 3-point ball game instead of 4. So that puts me at a field goal to tie the game instead of needing a touchdown to win. To gain the lead, that is. So now it's 36-39. Our goal here is to score really quickly or kill the clock and drive the field. So whatever happens first. Right here, we end up going to McCoy on the screenplay, gets us very close to a first down. So again, we're trying to score as quickly as possible or kill the clock. Again, whatever comes. I don't want to give them too much time, or I want to give them a lot of time. And right there, we end up catching wide open Deshaun Jackson with another touchdown on the streak. That's, thankfully we end up scoring, quickly. That way, if he scores, we have some type of time left for us to go ahead and retaliate his score if he's able to score. So a touchdown does put him up at this point, and hopefully our defense can come through. One stop right here, we win the game. But he runs up the middle, and another facepalm. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Another run up the middle for a touchdown, and he dove on me again. Disrespectful. So now we're down by 2 points, and that's why I believe that 2-point conversion came in handy, because a 2-point conversion that we were able to convert now makes this a field goal winnable game. So now at this point, I'm thinking he done messed up. He done gave your boy GS too much time on the clock for me to go ahead and score. And not only that, I'm going to be able to kill the clock, hopefully, move the ball positively, and win this game with the field goal. So we're playing for a field goal. We're not trying to score a touchdown. We're not trying to go crazy. We're trying to move the ball as slowly as possible. Third down right here, we end up going to Selleck, and we end up getting the first down. So this is all we want to do at this point. Just continue to get first downs, continue to move the ball, continue to keep the clock rolling. So you see, he still has all his timeouts right here. Fullback dive gets us to a 1st and 10. And right here, we end up running. No, it's a fumble! McCoy ended up fumbling. You gotta be kidding me. There's 49ers everywhere. But look at the concentration of the offensive lineman to dive on it. Right here, 2nd and long. We go to the screenplay, try to get ourselves back in the field goal range. Only gets us a couple of yards. 3rd and 11. We need to get in field goal range. Time is ticking. It's too far for a field goal. And thankfully, we end up finding Harper over the middle, and we end up kicking the game-winning field goal. Woo! Definitely a close, exciting game. Go ahead and leave the like. Hit the like button if you guys were entertained. Add this to your favorites in case you might want to watch it again. As always, it's your boy GS signing out. Follow me on Twitter if you guys don't already. Subscribe to my new channel if you haven't Subscribe to my new channel if you haven't done it already. It's your boy GS signing out. Peace. Give it to me, baby.